Boy, you've changed.
It's proven that few things spark happiness as much as looking through old photos.
Both of us.
And while she smiles some, 95-year-old Leila Morrison's eyes also reflect memories of a somber time, a part of her past and a piece of history, really, that needs to be told before it's too late.
There weren't too many careers for women.
Her story starts in the 1930s.
You were either a teacher or a nurse, and I wanted to be a nurse. I wanted to be able to help people.
Her first stop, basic training at Lowry Field in Denver, 1944.
Back in those days, we thought Colorado was on the other side of nowhere.
After just a short time, the call came for then Leila Allen.
We went overseas on Queen Elizabeth, the largest ship at that time.
She was part of a mobile medical unit, their traveling tent, standing right on the front line.
We only took care of emergencies.
Another head has lowered. Child is slowly taken.
Nurses wore combat boots and steel helmets.
You knew that you were there to help save lives, and that was a big responsibility.
Leila's job was to bring patients out of shock in order for doctors to operate.
You see, I never got to check on them after that. I didn't know which ones died, which ones made it.
And while that thought lingers today, she's comforted knowing the American GIs fully accepted the sacrifice, even saw the act of giving their life in the name of freedom as a blessing.
They knew their life was on the line, but they seemed more than willing to give their life.
Leila's face was the last face many troops ever saw.
He said, "See this little boy?" And of course I looked, and he was real cute, about 3. And he said, "He's 3 years old, and I've never seen him."
Also lying on her beds, non-Americans, those from the other side, taken prisoners of war.
And I thought, if we met one-on-one, it wasn't war. I knew that we could get along.
Leila's mobile medical unit ended up in eastern Germany at the Buchenwald concentration camps, one of the first and largest camps on German soil.
They were so thin.
The camp had just been liberated, but many of the prisoners still there.
You wondered how they could walk.
One of the prisoners told Leila his unfathomable story of horror, lying alive in a pyramid of stacked dead bodies for 3 days.
Guards would come around with their bayonets. They'd stick it in all sides. And if anybody moved, they made sure that was their last movement.
For years, she couldn't process these images, these memories with others.
Tell me what's in your head.
Except for one.
After I got married, I could talk to my husband, and he could talk to me.
The handsome Army officer crisscrossed her path in France.
And by the way, there's a big joke there. He told everybody I chased him all over Europe, and Uncle Sam sent me first. So I had to straighten that out.
Just 2 days after the U.S. dropped bombs over Japan,
The world will note that the first atomic bomb was dropped on Hiroshima.
the two married, both of them just 23 years old.
That was our wedding picture.
August 17th, 1945. 3 children, 8 grandchildren, and 65 years of marriage.
And that's a long time, isn't it?
Her husband passed from Alzheimer's 8 years ago.
It's very tough to lose him. But then I told myself, oh, just be thankful you had 65 years with him.
That's the picture that made Leila smile. She tells her story because she wants the children of the men and women of World War II and their children and their children's children to know the price of freedom. And learning from the men she saw in their final moment, she reminds us to always find the blessing.
But there's always a blessing in there somewhere.
Aristea Brady,
You can find it.
Fox 31.